Welcome back. Welcome back. It's your host, Delano, on the FanWire Podcast. If you love grit, if you love toughness, if you love bigs who live in the paint and make life miserable for their opponents, this big is what you want to know about. So if y'all ready, buckle up. Let's go. All right. Now, we're talking about a front court player that is super tough, lives in the paint, a rebounding machine, a paint enforcer, and a player with a high motor that you need on your interior. Who are we talking about? We're talking about Serah Williams. So we're going to talk about her college arc, the pros and cons, how she fits with the Washington Mystics, and one more thing. Oh, I forgot to add something here. Yeah, I forgot to add something there. All right, so now we're going to talk about again the WNBA projection. And we're going to talk about the physicality, which she brings to the game. She's a tough one. Now, let's talk about Serah Williams and her college career. But first, we're going to give you a snapshot of who the player is. We're looking at an interior big, pretty much a forward, but can play center. 6'3" is the height. And again, the identity of the player is a physical, high motor front court player that makes her presence known. Okay. The strength of her game is definitely rebounding, interior scoring, and defensive activity. Now, Williams built her reputation the old school way, with toughness, positioning, relentless effort. She influences the game without needing the ball. Any team can use that. The Washington Mystics can use a player like that. Okay, let's talk about her earlier career, the foundational years. Like most young players, her early seasons, it took some adjustment. That means learning defensive rotations, building strength, and adapting to the physicality of the college game. But even with that being said, even with those being some question marks in the beginning in her freshman year, she still showed flashes of being a natural rebounder with great instincts, someone that has defensive time. And you know that's so important. And was efficient around the rim. You already knew she had a motor real early. Now, let's talk about the development of her game. She matured as the game slowed down, and this is at Wisconsin, not at UConn. This is at the Wisconsin time days. This is how she got on the radar of UConn. She became a reliable paint scorer. She was strong through contact and earned consistent minutes. Right? And as that growth began to materialize, she became better with her post positioning, her rebounding dominance, and her defensive discipline. Now, with that being said, that's when the identity of being a standout defensive player emerged. This is where she really carved out her brand, right? And even with that being said, Williams evolved into an interior tone setter, a shot disruptor, and a physical post defender. Those are attributes that you need in a big coming into the WNBA. Right. But this is still early on. Now, her biggest improvement was timing, right? And that's when she's contesting the ball, right? A shooter. When she's contesting someone going to the rim. Her timing it started to elevate, right? And her help side reads and being able to manage fouls while playing physical. She became someone that the coaches could trust, right? Again, she's not a flashy player. She's just efficient. That's what a pro's pro is. That's one thing that Kiki Irvin said that one of her coaches used to say to her. She used to say that slow is pro, right? So I take that as being efficient. That's the type of player that you need. Okay, so when it comes to her scoring, it became less rushed, more controlled, and she demonstrated better footwork within traffic. Those are key elements to a good big, especially at the WNBA level. Now, let's talk about her getting buckets. Her primary type of buckets that she gets are drop-offs, putbacks, stealing a defender and using post moves, and short paint finishes like your jump hooks in the lane and things like that, right? So just like what DKJ22 says, she finishes at the rim and is very poised. I agree, 100%. We can tell you've been watching the game. Now, how does she eat on offense? It's off of effort. And you want your bigs to put forth maximum effort. Now, her signature strengths is being able to rebound due to her motor. She's relentless on the glass and generates extra possessions for your team. Again, she gives interior toughness. She finishes through contact and battles bigger post players. She ain't scared. She comes with the fire. Okay. Now, defensive activity. Contests well, blocks shots, makes and causes deflections. She is a constant paint deterrence. Again, she has the high motor. She runs hard. She runs well for a big. She's maximum at hustle plays, and she shifts the momentum in key moments. Now, let's keep it real. There is still a lot of room for development. A lot of room. She's limited at perimeter shooting, and you know, with the evolution of the bigs in the WNBA, being able to shoot from the perimeter is becoming a prerequisite to getting time. Now, when it comes to your development, you can work on it. You can add it to your game as time goes forward. But that's not a strength of Serah Williams right now. And she also has to develop being able to finish after trying to create a shot. So, and when I say trying to create a shot, I'm not saying, dribbling and then trying to make a shot. More like, catch it down low, have your primary move, your secondary move, and then being able to finish that way, right? Now, is she a tweener? That's a good question. I would say she's definitely a traditional 4, but is she a traditional 5? Nah, let's go with small ball 5, right? So her ceiling, it depends on her versatility, right? Now, overall in college, right? She's known for her toughness. She's known for having a high motor. She's known for dominating the glass. She's known for her defensive presence and interior efficiency, right? So she's known for all of these things. She's an anchor when it comes to rebounding, but she's still raw, right? Now, Serah transferred from Connecticut. I'm sorry, from Wisconsin to Connecticut. And there is a big difference in the game that Serah Williams displayed at Wisconsin compared to what you see at UConn. Now, in her last year at Wisconsin, she averaged 19 points, had pretty much 10 rebounds a game, almost 2.5 assists, and about 2 blocks a game. Now, if you're a UConn fan and you saw that the transfer occurred, I know if you watch the games what Serah Williams was doing last season, and even just how she ascended in her college career from freshman to junior year, you thought that she was going to come in and dominate. Now, we didn't necessarily see that. We're not seeing that this year at UConn. But I think that that's really based on you have 2 dynamic players at UConn, right? So you have Sarah Strong, you got AZ Fudd, ain't but so many possessions that you can get, right? So what we're seeing is Serah Williams is learning how to play with 5 great players, right? So she's able to do many different things. She has proven that, but she knows that when she gets to the WNBA, she's not going to get 20 shots a game. It's not going to happen. So what you're seeing now is her learning how to play as a pro in a role, right? Now, we're going to look at videos a little later on, and we're going to look at videos where you have her current Connecticut highlights and what she demonstrated at Wisconsin. We'll see the difference here, right? Now, this season, Serah Williams is averaging 7 points a game, 1.7 assists a game, 4.3 rebounds, 1.4 blocks, while shooting 57%. And I really believe that she can really do some things going forward. Right? Now, let's talk about the pros and cons and how Serah Williams fits with the Washington Mystics. You know, it's that time. We got to talk about the Mystics right now. All right. So, Serah Williams has elite rebounding, and that's definitely something that the Washington Mystics need. We definitely need more consistent interior board control, right? We need a player that can clean the glass. And she fixes that immediately, right? And she doesn't need plays run for her, right? So she adds physicality and paint resistance. That's her defense. That's the grit she adds to the game, right? She's efficient when it's her time to score. So she can clean up the glass and get putbacks and, get those hustle plays. So again, she doesn't need plays called for her. She just cleans everything up. Is she going to be a culture fit? That's a good question. Now, She is high effort. She's defensive minded, and she's system reliable. That means she can plug and play into a system. And that screams the Mystics DNA. What do you think? Do you think those are good qualities of a big coming to the Washington Mystics? Interesting. Now, let's talk about the risk. There are some cons here. We talked about the pros. Let's talk about the cons. She has limited ability to stretch the floor with her shooting, right? She's not a self-creator. And there probably needs to be, there in some people's eyes, her position probably needs to be defined, with role clarity between being a 4 and a small ball 5. Now, does it really need to be? I don't really think so, because we're going into positionless basketball. Now, situationally, that could be that's where it can come into play. Now, if Washington wants spacing heavy lineups, the fit gets a little tighter. If they want toughness and rebounding, Serah makes a lot of sense. Now, the best Mystics use cases, right? Now, she brings energy if she's coming off of the bench, which if she comes to the Mystics, that will definitely be her role, providing energy off of the bench, because Kiki starts flat out, right? But she can become a defensive specialist, especially when it comes to certain kind of matchups. She can be a rebounding closer, especially those situations when you need a rebound and a stop. Right? And being a small ball 5, she actually adds a physical element to her game. So, that can be used. There's a definite usefulness there. Okay, so let's talk about Serah Williams' floor, right? And when we say the floor, we're talking about pretty much the worst that she can be in the WNBA, right? We're talking about a reliable rotational rebounder, right? And, with at the median, at the middle, right, type of player, we're talking about a high impact bench anchor, right? On the high end, we're talking about a starting caliber defensive forward, right? If she adds the mid-range touch and switchability, then we're talking about some real upside here. So, again, floor, rotational big, provides energy, gets boards, can be a defensive sub when we need a stop, right? At the median, a rotational anchor provides front court stabilization, hustle energy, all those different type of things. On the high end, we're talking about a starter, paint anchor. And she can be a tone setter with getting rebounds. She can be a defensive pillar while being an efficient interior scorer. Her rebounding and motor gives her a strong baseline on what she can be, right? Now, let's talk about her comparison. Who does she match up? Who does her game remind Delano about? Who does she remind me of? You can say Elizabeth Williams, right? Defensive reliability. Now, I would say this. Brianna Jones on the side of how strong she is when someone is in her path. You know, Brianna could be a bully sometimes. But to really be compared to Brianna, Serah Williams would have to definitely polish up her offense. It will have to really develop, right? Now, let's talk about Kia Stokes. Rebounding motor and role archetype, right? So pretty much someone coming off the bench, being able to get key rebounds, play good defense in spurts, right? You can also say the profile physically. We're kind of looking at Shakira Austin as well. Now, Shakira Austin's offense is more versatile, has a more consistent jump shot. But if Williams sharpens her counters and adds a face-up game, then there can be a pathway to extended time on the floor. Now, let's do this. Let's show y'all some videos. We're going to show y'all some videos of Serah in action. And this will help you really, really see what we see. All right, here we go.
And a mid-range jumper for Janiah Barker on the other end.
Nice.
Serah Williams, backdoor cut, and a wide open Ashlyn Shane. Beautiful. Oh, they're passing so crisp.
Definitely get assist. And you see she's strong down left. She doesn't play games. She doesn't play with her food.
Take a look at this, just getting it right inside. Quick with the fill. Caldo was down there.
You will punish him. Doesn't matter your size. Getting out the way.
They
No.
lead Barker, and Barker buries a triple.
That quick shooting 3-point shots, if you're not making them, could lead to a lot of
Strong with a ball.
Yeah.
So let's get to these other videos. All right. So you see Serah, she can play defense, get in the passing lane, and she's not scared of contact. She's going to get the bucket. Okay. All right. Now, we got even more coming. We got more videos coming. Okay, so next up we have see the post work. She's able to get a bucket through contact. So I would honestly say at this point, if Serah Williams is brought onto the team, I'm looking at a second round pick, right? But I would also say this. When Serah Williams was at Wisconsin, and when she was before she transferred and started playing her senior year with UConn, she was considered a mid-round, first-round pick. That was her projection. That was her projection. So she has a lot of ability, especially when we go back to see the Wisconsin, which what her bag really is like. But I don't know if she'll have the full opportunity to pull the tools out of her bag once she gets to the WNBA. All right, so here we go. Okay, this is at Wisconsin, post work. Post work. Okay. Now, here goes some more action. She played more fluid and more freer when it comes to her time with Wisconsin. Over the shoulder work, through contact, and this is against Iowa. The seal. They brought 3 to her. Didn't work. Able to get rebounds and clean the glass. Posting up, easy seal. Yeah. Getting that work. This is against Iowa again. And Iowa is known for being a standout team. So yeah. Let's talk about it. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Do you think that Serah Williams will be able to translate her game and be a good pick for the Washington Mystics? I think she brings value, especially for an interior player coming off of the bench. Right? She's not a flashy prospect, but she is a cultural piece. We need cultural pieces. She's tough. She's relentless on the boards. She shows grit on the inside. And for the Washington Mystics, she represents an upgrade in rebounding, defensive physicality, an infusion of energy, and a paint presence. Yeah. You know, again, they were saying that she was a mid-first round type of talent. She still has that talent, but I think that her play and the role that she has at UConn, I believe that can actually hinder where she's selected in the upcoming WNBA draft. She's a logical target, but I think that we will have to. I think she'll come off the board in the second round, and at that point, that is a great value pick for the Mystics. Now, I would also say this: if you're a Washington Mystic fan and you're looking for a player that is glamorous, then you might want to look elsewhere. But if you want to play that's grit, Serah Williams checks the box. She's your type of player. All right. Now, I also want to say this, that I was super high on Serah Williams last season. Super high. I was thinking that we could get her with the number 9 pick. And it's still at 11. But I don't think that playing at UConn really shows her true value. But if she's selected by the Mystics, expect for her to be a very good piece that we picked up. Now, you know, in the comments, Let me know if you like the game that Serah Williams brings. Let me know if you think she'll be a good fit with the Washington Mystics. Let me know which role you think she'll play. And also, take 2 seconds. Like the video, like the video, like the video. It helps us spread more Washington Mystic content. More, because we love our Mystics. You know, like the video, like the video. And even if you're on here and you're not even a Mystics fan, you just want to get good insight on upcoming prospects for the WNBA 2026 draft, like the video, like the video. You'll see more because we're dropping it every day. Now, also subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you so much. Now, let's talk about, well, actually, that's going to be the breakdown for the day. And again, if you love paint dominance, if you love a player with a high motor, a front court enforcer, if you believe championships are built with defense and rebounding, Serah Williams deserves your attention. So, again, drop some comments. Let me know what you think. And again, this is Delano, your trusted voice for Washington Mystic content. And yeah, we'll be back with you tomorrow with another prospect that could be on the Washington Mystic radar and somebody that should be on yours. All right, we out of here.